everybody, how you doing today? The dryer is on. I'm going to give it the daggers through the wall. It doesn't seem to make any difference. But other than the dryer, it's kind of quiet, so why not try to make a little video for a quick ramble? Anyway, what I wanted to talk about, is something that seems really alien to a lot of people these days, I think anyway, from what I've observed. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You're allowed to like more than the one side of an argument. And it sort of plays into the whole cancel culture thing too. You're allowed to find even one thing amongst your so-called enemies that you can agree with them on. You're allowed. You are actually allowed to do that, just in case you don't know. I've recently undergone a wee bit of I guess you could say a sort of political transformation. I'm extremely, or generally, left-wing about most things, but I have found myself in agreement with certain right-wing ideas. And the thing is, they're not even that right-wing. They're just considered right-wing now because they're being spouted by people who normally say right-wing stuff. Does that make sense? And I call it a wee concept. And again, it shouldn't be anything transformational at all. This is just something that I think everybody should do, but most people don't seem to do it. I call it the Buddhist supermarket. So when I was in New Zealand, right, I went to the Buddhist meditation centre a few times. It was awesome. And one of the concepts that the guy said to me was, when you're here, if there's something you don't like, don't worry about it. He's like, just treat it kind of like a supermarket. If you don't like the eggplant, just leave it. But if you want a mushroom, take a mushroom. That sort of thing. Not an actual mushroom, but you know what I mean, like supermarket mushrooms. Although apparently I hear those other mushrooms are quite good too. And yeah, but we seem to have lost that concept that maybe we are actually allowed. For example, I'll like a tweet that I agree with, and then I might see somebody argue with that person in a very rational, logical way who holds the exact opposite view, and I'll like that tweet as well. And that's okay. It doesn't mean I agree with them, but I might think, you're right about that. That's an interesting and debatable point. We should, so I'll like it. Doesn't mean I agree with them though. And I found it's become very, very hostile out there if you even stick your head up a little bit to go, hey, you know what? I think that's a debatable point on that particular topic. And the next thing you know, people come down on you like a ton of bricks, because they assume that because you may have said something that may even remotely be similar to somebody bad, that they think is bad, had also said it, then that means you must be bad. And I just wanted to stick my 2 cents in, my 2p in, my 5p in, whatever the going rate is these days, to just say, it's alright to be both. It's alright to be in the middle. Take a stand when you can. Question when you can. And even if you don't flat out argue with someone, if you see somebody tweet something or post something or say something at work and you're like, yeah, I don't really agree with that, you don't have to just jump on the bandwagon with them. It's alright to stay off the bandwagon. Watch that bandwagon go round and round. More often than not, I've found in my experience that bandwagons are usually a load of bullshit anyway, you know? So, anyway, I just wanted to try and, it's a topic that I've been thinking about for a while, and I know the dryer's on, so maybe not a lot of people will watch this video, and a lot of people won't think I assume that I'm some sort of nut job and try to cancel me or contact my employer or something. But you know what I mean though, right? It's like there seems to be general, depending on your geography, your socio-economic status, where you work, there seems to be these consensus gangs, and if you're not part of the gang, you're against them, and that's just bullshit, you know. It's bullshit. So anyway, I hope that made some sense. Got it off my chest at least. But yeah, the Buddhist supermarket, you know, look around and go, you know what, I like that idea. I don't particularly like the person saying it, and in fact I disagree with them 99.9% of the time, but on that one single topic they've actually got a point, and that's important. I think it's important to have enough intelligence and awareness to recognise that, because I'm just not seeing a lot of that at all. In fact, it's usually the opposite. Not only is it the opposite that they'll try to cancel that person, but they'll then ridicule them, and in doing so, but you know, because they're trying to get likes and retweets and whatever, and in ridiculing them, they're actually just making a fool of themselves, because ultimately the majority of people, I would like to think, the quiet ones that are generally look and go, yeah, I don't know about that actually, like that kind of, you know. And here's the thing, I can't even specify any of the potential topics that I might be talking about. I can't do it. I can't even say what topic I'm talking about. I'm actually not talking about a topic, I'm talking about sort of in general, but oh, the dryer stopped. But there's a bunch of different you know, sensitive topics out there which I think deserve debate and a lot of and you're allowed to ask questions, you know. Even asking questions on certain topics is seen to be as you being intolerant though. So because I have an employer and because I have a family to feed, I am absolutely no way going to even tell you what topic I'm talking about. I am censoring myself because I don't want to run the risk that somebody will label me something, even if they're wrong, and even if my employer didn't believe them. The fact that I could get labelled, or you could get labelled, or anyone could get labelled something undesirable, and then have their livelihood put at risk because they'd be tweeting out and making it public and try and embarrass them online or whatever. It's just wrong. So I'm censoring myself, you know. I'm dancing around it because I can't take the risk of somebody wanting to be that person, you know. And then most of you know me, I don't upset anyone, usually. I've upset a couple of people. But generally speaking, I keep things pretty logical and neutral, I think, you know. But no way. Maybe one day if I was ever to be financially stable and I didn't have to rely on someone else to, you know, employ me to pay the bills and all that, I'd suddenly speak my mind for real. Until until that day comes, I'm going to self-censor. I'm going to have to self-censor myself. Self-censor myself. And I wonder if you do too. Do you do that? You know, do you, or are you braver than me? You know, do you just speak whatever you want to say and say it? That's easy to do though when the topic has consensus and everybody around you sort of agrees anyway. But if you have an even remotely opposing view to something, that's when you start running the risk. And people do it all the time. They'll accidentally say something and go, oh God, and then they apologise and they backtrack. And I'm always looking at that thinking, why are you apologising? A lot of the time the apologies are not genuine anyway. You can't make someone apologise. You know, I mean, I would never accept an apology from someone unless they actually meant it. I wouldn't go to somebody and say, you owe me an apology, because then it wouldn't be genuine, right? I don't know. But yeah, you're allowed to take both sides of the argument, consider it, and you have the freedom to decide whatever you want. Don't let other people bully you into a single point of view. I've let myself do that in the past, and I'm proud to say, although in a way there's downsides to this as well, but I'm proud to say that I've changed my political views multiple times throughout my life. You know, I was very much one way, then I went the other way, then I went back, then I went in the middle, then I went slightly over to the other way again. And it's all part of the journey, right? It's all part of it's life. And then you've got people who are like, oh, I vote for this party because my granddad voted for them. And you're like, well, yeah, but what do you think? I just vote for them because my whole family's always voted for them. Okay then. You know, that's it, I guess. But, yeah, I hope some of this made some sense. You're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to agree with people who are technically on the other side, if you want to call it that, of your side, whatever your side is. I think there's nothing wrong with liking or sharing, promoting an opposing argument. If it's a good argument, if it's got reason and logic behind it, and if you self-censor yourself like I do, I don't blame you, because it's hostile out there and it's scary. And I will say one more thing, because it's hostile, because there's a lot of people who stay quiet and ignorant, often very, very, very ignorant and reactive if they get told off, or you should be thinking this way, and then obviously they go think the other way because they're stubborn. Those people, their voice is then heard at the next election. And unfortunately, that's when they vote for people who you're like, how did anybody vote for this person? This is insane. It's like, no, mate, no. These people were sitting there the whole time, angry and feeling left out. And the one time they got their voice back, they used it, and it's as hard as it is to understand. I think that's why these things happen. Anyway, that's my extremely wise, very wise. You let me know. Take care, everybody, and I hope ask this. I would love it, love it, love it if you would consider liking and subscribing this video, assuming you do actually like it. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. In fact, just hit the thumbs down. Make you feel better.